We are just days away from UFC Fight Night. Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady in the O2 Arena in London, England, which means it's time for me to break down every single fight on this card, starting with the first fight going all the way up to the main event. As I just said, Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady. It's a pretty good main event, good co-main event to Carlos Alberg versus Jan Blachowicz. You know, there's a lot of good names on this card, like Jordan Vucenic, and there's a couple others, Morgan Charriere, you know, Chris Padilla, Loner Kavanagh, Mick Parkin, CLD. It's a pretty star-studded card. Like, this is a hardcore card, obviously. Even Nathan Fletcher. Like, there's a lot of names on this card, a lot to look out for, so I can't wait to dive into this card. I've already done a whole video on the Sparring Sessions podcast with my friend Dax. So if you want to go see if you want to have another input on who's going to win, you know, see someone else's opinion, go watch that. There's two people, me and him, both giving out picks, so go check that out. But let me jump right into the first fight of the night. I'm going to hop onto topology here. So the first fight of the night is Guram Kulateladze versus Kaue Fernandez. I'm going to go with Guram. I think he's the more well-rounded fighter. I've not been too impressed by Kaue Fernandez. He just beat Muhammad Yahya, but that's really a nothing win. Guram just beat Jordan Vucenic. It was a great win. Jordan Vucenic's a great prospect. He's on this card. I'm hoping he does good, and I'm hoping Guram does good. Obviously, I'm banking on the fact that Jordan Vucenic ends up looking good because I've been very impressed with him in the regional scene, but Guram, you know, he lost to Elvis Brenner. He's a dog. He lost to Damir Ismagulov. They're both really good fighters. Mark Jacasey, I think, is a step below. And I just think Kaue Fernandez is not going to be able to hang with Guram. I think Guram's going to take home a decision win. That'll be the official pick. Maybe a finish. I could see a finish. Next fight up the card. We've got Caolan Loughran versus Nathan Fletcher. So, you know, Caolan Loughran, he lost his last fight to Jake Hadley, who's now over in the PFL, I think. So that's a bad look. That was a short notice fight for Jake Hadley, too. You know, he moved up a weight class as well. So that's a bad look for Caolan Loughran. I know I got the Irish flag behind me. I should be supporting my fellow Irishman, but I'm not about that. You know, I'm not going to just blindly pick every Irish guy. Same way I'm not going to pick every Canadian fighter to win. Nathan Fletcher, I think, gets this done. I think he's going to get a submission win most likely in this fight. That'll be probably my official pick, a submission win in the second round most likely. That's probably where I'm leaning towards. Maybe a decision, but I'm probably leaning towards the submission win. I think the odds will be better there. Next fight, we've got Shaunna Bannon versus Puja Tomar. This one, I am picking the Irish woman. I think Shaunna Bannon's going to win this fight on the feet. Puja Tomar did not impress me in her win against Ryan, Amanda Dos Santos, whatever her name is. Shaunna Bannon, I mean, she's not been, like, incredibly impressive in her UFC stint, but, like, Bruna Brazil, she's a great fighter. She's a great fighter, trains with the best fighting nerds, and like, she just lost to Wang Kong, who I guess is going on a roll now. I think Shaunna Bannon's going to have a highlight win here. I don't think Puja Tomar belongs. I think she got a robbery win in her last fight against Ryan Amanda. I'm going to go with Shaunna Bannon to win a classic decision win here. That'll be the official pick. Next fight, we've got Andrey Pulyaev versus Christian Leroy Duncan. Pulyaev coming off the Contender Series where he beat Liam Anderson. He kind of just beat him up on the feet. There wasn't much that Liam Anderson offered. But apparently Liam Anderson was injured supposedly, so maybe there's that. But Christian Leroy Duncan, his UFC stint's been up and down. But, you know, he's fighting guys like Gregory Rodriguez and Armen Petrosyan. I mean, Armen Petrosyan you probably should beat, but I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if Pulyaev got this done. But I think CLD is probably going to win this. I'm going to say CLD by decision, most likely. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Pulyaev got this done. Like, CLD's wins aren't incredible. Dennis Tululin, Claudio Ribeiro, Dusko Todorovic. They're not the best of the best of the best, you know. Andrey Pulyaev, he is 9-2. I mean, this could go either way. I'm probably going to go towards CLD, just because of a bit more experience, I guess. Not much more, but yeah, I'll go with CLD by decision. That'll be the official pick. Next fight, we've got Marcin Tybura versus Mick Parkin. And listen, Mick Parkin's winning this fight. This is a heavyweight banger, but Mick Parkin, he's the young up-and-coming prospect. Marcin Tybura is 40 years old. Mick Parkin has looked pretty good on the feet. He's improving his striking. He trains with the best of the best. I'm not going to say his name. I don't even care. Tom Aspinall. I don't care. But Mick Parkin, people keep saying I say it wrong. That's the whole thing there. So Mick Parkin, he's looked pretty good. He just knocked out Lucas Bresky on the feet. Looked pretty good there. And I think he's rounded out his game. I think he could get a sneaky KO win in the second round, possibly. Wouldn't be surprised if he got that KO win. Most likely leaning towards a decision here. I'm gonna go with Mick Parkin though. I think he gets this done. I'm pretty confident Mick Parkin wins this fight. So yeah, moving up, we got Loughran Kavanagh versus Felipe dos Santos. This is an interesting one. Loughran Kavanagh making his UFC, or is this his UFC debut? No, this is his second fight in the UFC. I forgot he made his debut. Jose Achua, I totally forgot about that fight. This is a good fight, though. Felipe dos Santos held his own on the feet against Manel Kopp. The Andre Lima fight was a bit more one-sided, and he beat Altamirano by a split decision. But, that was a really close fight anyways. I think Dos Santos is the guy that's going to give you a close fight. I don't think he's going to be winning a lot of these fights. I think Loughran Kavanagh, you got to go with him because of the potential, because he hasn't lost yet, obviously. He's looked incredible in his wins, and I think he's going to get this done. We're going to go with Loughran Kavanagh. Probably decision. That'll be the official pick. Next fight, we've got Jai Herbert versus Chris Padilla. This is slightly an interesting one. You know, Jai Herbert has a lot of experience in the UFC. He's fought Ilia Topuria. He actually knocked down Ilia Topuria in that fight, if you don't remember. But Ilia Topuria still knocked him out. You know, he beat Kyle Nelson, draw against Ludovic Klein, beat Feresiam, which actually is aging pretty well now. Feresiam's been on a pretty long win streak. But, you know, you never want to pick against Taco Padilla, man. This guy is a dog. I've picked against him a couple times, and I've been the dummy, you know? I've been the fool. I'm not going to be that guy again. Jai Herbert, I don't think he has much left in him. He's 36 years old. I don't think Rolando Bedoya is that incredible of a win. I think Taco wants this a bit more. He's 29, coming into his prime, and this is, I'm not trying to rhyme, but this is time to break into the rankings. Possibly. Or at least, if he wins this, he gets a ranked opponent next. So, I think Chris Padilla is going to get this win. You know, I think he's going to want this more. So, yeah, I'm going to say Chris Padilla gets I think he gets a submission win over Jai Herbert. Chris Padilla is a dog, man. Like, he's a nasty on the feet, and when he cracks you, I could see a club and sub scenario where he latches up the back instantly and gets a submission win. Jai Herbert's been knocked out. He's been submitted before. It's only one submission from Renato Moicano, but I think Chris Padilla has really good submission skills as well. And if you look at how many fights he's finished, not a lot of them are going to decision, you know. He's a finish guy. 8 KOs, 5 submission wins. We could see a KO or a submission win for Chris Padilla. I wouldn't be surprised by either. I'm actually going to take the submission win. You'll probably get better odds for it because it's happened a bit less. But I'm saying Chris Padilla, Taco Padilla, gets it done in the second round by submission. Call me crazy, but that's the official pick. We're going with Taco Padilla to win this fight in the second round by submission. Next fight, we got Nathaniel Wood versus Morgan Charriere. This is a slightly interesting one, you know. Nathaniel Wood's got the hometown crowd. Slight underdog for him. He's coming off of a good win over Daniel Pineda, Andre Fili, Charles Jourdain. I don't know. They're not really that impressive to me. And Morgan Charriere, his only recent loss is Chepe Mariscal, who is a fucking dog, you know. Chepe Mariscal is beating everyone, and he's a fucking dog. So that loss doesn't mean too much to me, you know. And he really hung it in there in that fight. That was a really close fight. Whoever you have it scored to, it doesn't even matter. Going to a split decision with Chepe Mariscal, you got to get points for that. And I think Morgan Charriere is going to get this win. I think he's going to get this win. You know, he's taller. He's a little bit younger than Nathaniel Wood. I just think he's going to want it more. And I keep saying that. It's not a great way to pick fights. But, man, I think Morgan Charriere is just going to be a bit faster. Nathaniel Wood, he has good boxing. But I think Morgan Charriere is just going to be able to mix it up a bit better. And he's taking home a decision win. This could be a close fight. This could be. But I think Morgan Charriere is getting the nod. And it is England's judges. But I'm going with Morgan Charriere by decision. That's the official pick. Not changing it. Next fight, we got Jordan Vucenic versus Chris Duncan. Oh, man. I cannot wait for this one, honestly. I was really impressed by Jordan Vucenic in his debut against Guram Kulateladze. And Chris Duncan, he got a big upset win in his last performance against Blagioki. You know, he put him to sleep in the first round, had him snoozing. But he got tapped out by Manuel Torres. And I think he's a guy that I think he can get out manipulated. And Jordan Vucenic is a very strong guy, great grappling credentials, a lot of submission wins. You got to go with Jordan Vucenic here. And Jordan Vucenic's getting a submission win. I'm picking another submission win. I think he's going to get Chris Duncan out in the first or second round with a rear naked choke or an arm triangle or something like that. But Jordan Vucenic's submission is the official pick. Next fight up the card. Oh boy, I cannot wait for a Molly Tin Can Classic against Alexia Thainara. This is going to be just... I hope I get this right, man. I've lost a lot of money on Molly McCann. I cannot pick her to win another fight. I just can't. If she ends up winning this, whoop-de-fucking-do. But I've got to pick Alexia Thainara to win this fight. I think this is a tougher fight than Estela Nunes. This I should have said this all before. This is a short notice fight. This got made like halfway through last week. That's like the week of whatever fight night just happened. I can't even remember it off the top of my head. The lead Vittori too. There we go. It was halfway through that week that this fight got made. Alexia Thainara stepped up for Estela Nunes. I think this is a much tougher fight for Molly McCann. This is a prospect with a grappling background. You know, she can take someone down, and she hasn't really lost ever. I think what was her last loss? She's 11-1, and Bruna Brazil was her last loss in 2019. Like, that's pretty good. She's been on a run recently. And, you know, Bruna Brazil, she did just lose to Molly McCann. Or, no. Molly McCann just lost to Bruna Brazil. But that's another reason to pick Alexia Thainara here, you know. I don't think Molly McCann can hang with the best of the best. I don't think Molly McCann's good at all. She's really subverted my expectations. I thought she would beat Julia Stolyarenko. I thought she would beat Bruna Brazil, if I'm being honest. She just continues to falter in any of these opportunities. She beat Diana Belbita, I guess. But I think Thainara's she's got the reach advantage. She's got the grappling advantage. She's getting this win, guys. Whether it be submission or a decision, I'm probably going to say Thainara submission win. I'm picking a lot of subs, but she's a submission girl. I'm going with the Thainara submission win over Molly McCann. First round. over first or second round over Molly McCann. Yeah, not confident in it. Molly McCann probably is going to end up winning because I didn't pick her this time. Gotta be a Thaynara pick, though. Thaynara by sub. Next fight, we've got Kevin Holland versus Gunnar Nelson. Oh, boy. I don't get Kevin Holland fights wrong. Listen, the last Kevin Holland fight that I got wrong... Let me go down the list. Reiner de Ritter. I picked Reiner de Ritter to submit Kevin Holland. Effortless. I picked Roman Dolidze to finish Kevin Holland in the first round. I can't remember if it was a KO or submission I picked for him. I picked Kevin Holland to beat Mikhail Oleksiejczyk. I picked MVP to beat Kevin Holland. I picked Jack Della Maddalena to beat Kevin Holland. I picked Kevin Holland to beat Michael Chiesa. I picked Kevin Holland to beat Santiago Ponzinibbio. I don't get his fights wrong. I might have picked Kevin Holland to beat Stephen Thompson. But that was under the assumption that I thought Kevin Holland was going to shoot takedowns against Stephen Thompson. I was obviously wrong. I picked him to lose against Hamzat. I picked him to beat Tim Means. I don't get Kevin Holland fights wrong. He's going to beat Gunnar Nelson. Gunnar Nelson hasn't fought in like 2 years. And I get the records indicate that Gunnar Nelson should win this fight. And you go and you watch some of Gunnar Nelson's fights. And, he is a pretty aesthetic fighter. He looks good on the feet. He's got his good karate style, bouncing in and out. Sometimes he's compared to Conor McGregor. I don't think he's going to win this fight after 2 years on the shelf. And Kevin Holland... People are making fun of him, He wants to prove something here. People have been making fun of him the past few months because he fucking went on a talk show or a podcast, whatever they're called, and he fucking made a fool of himself against Rampage Jackson. He wants to prove himself now. He got right back into camp after he lost against Reiner de Ritter, and I think this is a winnable fight. Gunnar Nelson has been knocked out before. He hasn't been submitted before, but he's been knocked out and he's lost plenty of decisions. Gilbert Burns beat him by decision. Leon Edwards, Santiago Ponzinibbio knocked him out really fast. Kevin Holland has a reach advantage here. It's like a 9-inch reach advantage, if I believe, if I'm correct. 9 inches of reach over Gunnar Nelson. That's massive. That's absolutely massive, and a height advantage too. I think Kevin Holland can win this fight, and I don't usually say that. I don't usually say that. I'm not usually one to be on Kevin Holland's side. So when I am, that should mean something. I think Kevin Holland wins this fight by a TKO in the first or second round. That's the official pick. We're moving on to the co-main. We got Jan Blachowicz versus Carlos Ulberg. Do not pick Jan Blachowicz. Do not pick the fucking 42-year-old. If you're picking a 42-year-old, slap yourself in the face and just really reevaluate how you pick fights, man. Because I don't think Jan is going to stand a chance here. I think he might be able to hold Carlos against the fence a couple times. I think Carlos is going to be piecing him up on the feet. There's going to be a speed advantage for Carlos at this point, I think. He's going to be outstriking him by a lot. And he's just going to be moving in and out. Jan's not going to be able to touch this guy. On the feet, that is. I think Carlos takes home a decision win. I would not be surprised if Carlos gets a random knockout win over Jan. And listen, I get it's Jan, and he hasn't been knocked out and all this. And in a while, he has 2 knockout losses, but he has a pretty good chin. But he's 42 years old and he hasn't fought in 2 years. This is the time where he would just get a TKO loss on his record. This is what Thiago Santos put him out. He's been knocked out before, and he's coming off of the shelf 2 years. Not off the shelf or anything like he was injured, but it's been 2 years since he fought. That's a long time. I would not be surprised if Carlos Ulberg was able to find a kill shot on him. But, he doesn't have that many knockouts. Only 7 on his record, so nothing crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if he knocked out Jan. I think Carlos Ulberg wins this fight by decision, though, most likely. That's going to be the pick. Carlos Ulberg by decision. Moving on to the main event. Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady. Leon Edwards versus Sean Brady. Leon coming off a loss against Bilal Muhammad. Sean Brady coming off of a win over Gilbert Burns. Both of their last losses are to Bilal Muhammad. Leon lost a decision to Bilal Muhammad. Sean Brady lost by TKO, but anyone who watched that fight know it was a really wonky TKO, early stoppage on the feet, standing TKO with not even a knockdown. Very weird stoppage, seemed to be very early. Sean Brady looked like fine. He was like shelled up, but he was still recovering and moving around and didn't get knocked down once. It should have been allowed to keep going. This is a very interesting one. You know, Leon has a reach advantage, a height advantage. He's been the champion before. But listen, he got taken down like fucking 10 times in his last fight against Bilal Muhammad. I get it's Bilal Muhammad, but they have the same style. Bilal, Sean Brady, they have the same style. They're going to be taking you down. Rinse and repeat. Going for takedowns. Getting top control. And Sean Brady's top control, top game is incredible. This guy is able to keep you on the mat, advance position, and do what he wants on the ground, man. Sean Brady, I got to give him a lot. Like I've been against him. After that Bilal Muhammad loss, I hated this guy, but he really bought me back. I think he's very good, and I think this is time to shine, man. This is time to break into a title shot. Sean Brady is going to beat Leon Edwards. He's going to take down Leon Edwards. He's going to win a decision. That's going to be the pick, I think. Am I that confident? I kind of am. I've been having this feeling, you know, there's this idea of Leon Edwards that he's just this incredible kickboxer and striker on the feet, all this. Oh, he only lost to Bilal Muhammad because it was 6 a.m. One, he signed the contract to fight then. He knew what he was signing up for. And two, you know, Colby Covington took him down 2 times and, like, was very close in the numbers with him. Kamaru Usman took him down 5 times, outstruck him before a head kick landed with 1 minute left. Kamaru Usman was up on the scorecards in every single round of that fight. Nate Diaz, literally the exact same striking numbers in that fight, and Nate Diaz rocked him in one of the rounds. Split decision with Gunnar Nelson. There's an idea of Leon Edwards, and then there's Leon Edwards. You know, I think Sean Brady actually is like a good prospect, and I think he's going to slip past Leon Edwards. The style matchup is the biggest thing here. Sean Brady is a dominant grappler, and I don't think Leon Edwards is able to win against dominant grapplers or take dominant wrestlers. I don't think he's able to win against them. I think Sean Brady takes this home by decision. That'll be the official pick. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to be making a video here in a couple days about the state of UFC and like eye pokes and fouls in MMA. Something needs to change, man. It's just going to be like a general, like, couple fights included, like couple examples, and yeah, we're gonna make something happen. We're gonna make something happen. We're making a change. So yeah, look out for that. But yeah, if you like these picks, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Who's gonna win this fight? We'll be back here for more soon. Thank you for watching.